Hi, I welcome you all in YuktMind's unique initiative 10 Minutes and Newspaper Done. We'll be covering today's the Hindu newspaper. So you can also download the PDF of these news from our website under the Current Affairs tab on www.yuktmind.com. You can also download the PDF from our Telegram channel, the link of which is given in the description below. So let's get started. So today we'll be covering 8 news starting with Great Nicobar Island Project, Center's plan for overhauling of research institutions, painted stocks, Ranghar of Assam, rehabilitation of drug addicts, concerns regarding e-farmer platforms, Pakistan attracting poors, and loss of elephant habitats. So the first news is regarding Great Nicobar Island Project. It was cleared recently in October 2022, 2 years after the application was received. However, recently, National Green Tribunal has stayed the project and has constituted a committee to study the environmental clearance. Now, National Commission for Scheduled Tribe has stated that this project violates tribal rights. The case, therefore, is regarding alleged discrepancies with respect to the forest clearance granted for 72,000 crore Great Nicobar project. It will have a lot of development activities such as transshipment port, airport, power plant, and greenfield township. The government, however, has said in parliament that project intends to use about 7.114 square kilometer of tribal reserve forest land where the Champagne, a PVTG, that is a particularly vulnerable tribe group, and the Nicobaris reside. So basically, the government is saying that it won't hamper the lifestyle or the living area of Champagne and Nicobaris tribe, but however, NGT and the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe are of different view. So what are the alleged violations? According to National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, that is NCST, there are two violations. The first is that NCST has not been consulted. The second is the tribal dwellers have not been given rights or recognition under the FRA. That is, according to Rule 6.3 of Forest Conservation Rules, any diversion of forest land would first require the recognition and vesting of rights to local people under the FRA. Only after giving them rights, then the government can take permission from these gram panchayats for diversion of land. Now we move on to our second news. The central government is planning to overhaul its research institutions. The Department of Science and Technology, that is DST, which is the main source of funds and sustenance for at least 30 autonomous research bodies, is in the middle of a rationalization exercise that involves merging, disengaging, and even closure of organization. The exercise is part of a larger project initiated by the central government to reduce the number of autonomous institutions funded by various ministries. So, why the government has felt the need for this overhauling? So, according to Government of India, the exercise is to streamline administrative functioning of these institutions and organize them in a better way based on the aim of minimum government and maximum governance. There will be no budget cuts or reduction in staff of research institutes. So, basically, the government is trying to minimize these institutions. So, whatever functions that are performed by the ministry itself, they won't be given to these autonomous institutions, and there will be rationalization of activities. So now we move on to our third news. This is basically a very happy news. So close to 4,000 painted storks are nesting in two Andhra Pradesh villages. The painted stork is scientifically known as Mycteria leucocephala, and it is a large wader in the stork family. It is found in the wetlands of plains of tropical Asia, south of Himalayas, in the Indian subcontinent, and extending into Southeast Asia. So these painted storks are famous for their pink terrestrial feathers of the adults, giving them their name. They forage in flocks in shallow water along rivers or lakes, and they nest colonially on trees. So the fourth news is about Ranghar of Assam. The Ranghar is a two-storied building which once served as the royal sports pavilion where Ahom kings and nobles were spectators at games like buffalo fights and other sports at Rupahi Pather, particularly during the Rangoli Bihu festival in the Ahom capital of Rangpur. The unique thing about this Ranghar is the roof of the Ranghar is shaped like an inverted royal Ahom longboard. The shape of the monument has a series of arched entrances, while atop the roof sits a decorative pair of carved stone crocodiles. So the fifth news is about a change in approach by Ministry of Social Justice, wherein it is pushing for rehab instead of jail time for drug addicts. So let us get into the background of this. As of now, under the Narcotics, Drug and Psychotropic Substances, that is NDPS Act of 1985, the consumption of any narcotic drugs or psychotropic substance may attract a jail term of up to 1 year and or fines up to rupees 20,000. In the past 2 years, the number of vulnerable districts for drug use have gone up from 272 to 372, an alarming situation. With Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Goa, Chandigarh, Puducherry, and Tripura having 100% districts marked as vulnerable. These states are followed by Uttarakhand and Punjab, where 92.3 and 86.95% of the districts have been marked as vulnerable, respectively. So, according to Ministry of Social Justice, substance usage survey conducted by AIMS in 2018, alcohol had emerged as the most used substance among adults at 17.1% of prevalence. Then, among other substances, cannabis use had the highest prevalence at 3.3%, followed by opioids, 2.1%, sedatives, and cocaine. So, as of now, while enforcement agencies are targeting supply chains, the Social Justice Ministry is currently running countrywide awareness and rehabilitation campaigns. It wants to treat users and addicts like victims and not criminals. This is a great change in approach. So a new policy in this regard is in pipeline. Government of India has decided to decriminalize consumption of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. It is likely to bring in a policy where addicts and users will have to submit themselves before treatment centers and declare themselves as such in order to escape criminal prosecution. So anticipating a lot of incoming addicts under this policy, the Social Justice Ministry is now preparing to scale up the network of 508 rehabilitation and de addiction facilities that it supports under the campaign for drug demand reduction named Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. So the government is looking to tie up with spiritual and faith-based organization or any organization including private ones that have their own hospitals and educational institutes, counseling facilities, etc. So under this, the government of India has signed MOUs with Brahma Kumaris of Mount Abu, and recently the government of India has signed an MOU with Art of Living, the NGO run by Shri Ravi Shankar. However, experts have highlighted the problems of shortage of doctors in such centers and short duration of de-addiction of serious addicts. So, according to experts, it takes around 5 months to de-addict a addict, wherein as of now the policy says they should be there for around a month. So there's a gap of around 4 months in treatment, which is to be looked at by the policymakers. Now we move on to our sixth news, which is concerns regarding e-pharma platforms in India. As you're seeing, a lot of e-pharmacies platforms such as Tata AMG, Netmag, PharmEasy have cropped up. However, there's a lack of regulation regarding this sector in India as of now. So according to a report, the market for these online pharmacies was worth 25 billion in 2021, and it is stated to reach rupees 89 billion by 2027. As of now, the rules and policies regarding physical pharmacies. So, the Drugs and Cosmetic Act of 1940 regulates the import, manufacturing, and distribution of drugs in India, wherein e-pharmacy is a recent phenomena. So, the policy and regulation regarding e-pharma in India is not clear as of now. So there are a lot of concerns and different voices, wherein the health ministry is saying we should ban it completely. The e-pharmacies are saying banning is not good for this industry. So there's a lot of confusion. So what are the concerns basically with regarding to e-pharma platforms? The Indian Medical Association, IMA, in its white paper on the online pharmacies said that drug abuse, misuse, self medication, access to children, no place or system to evaluate adverse drug relations, no clarity on drug storage conditions, and no system of immediate recall in case of drugs are problems that the industry comes with. So, apart from these, there are concerns regarding profiling of patients and illegal data collection. So, apart from these, there are concerns regarding profiling of patients. So, why are these e-pharma platforms in the news? Recently, the department related parliamentary committee on commerce has asked the health ministry to finalize the draft e-pharmacy rules and implement them without further delay. The parliamentary panel also expressed concerns over the possible misuse of online pharmacies in the absence of regulation and mentioned that there are concerns of the distribution of illegal or unethical medicines or outdated, substituted, or counterfeit medication. So, the parliamentary committee is asking them to regulate it, whereas the health ministry is in doubt regarding the existence of these e-pharma platforms in India. So we move on to our seventh news. According to Indian Army, Pakistan is attracting poor working class into terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. The army said that Pakistan was trying to attract poor and working class people in the Rajouri Poonch sector, home to a large number of Muslim, Gujars, and Bakarwals for terrorist activity with money. So recently, there was a blasting of army truck in Poonch sector. The army said that there was a need to educate local people in a proper direction to stop this menace. So now we move on to our final news of the day. So according to a study of scientific reports, over 64% of elephant habitat has been lost across Asia since 1700s. So according to researchers, around 86% of animal habitat has been lost in India. So this is a great cause of concern because in recent times we have seen a lot of human and elephant conflicts. So this is majorly because of loss of habitat for elephants. Thank you for watching this video. You can download the PDF of these news from our website, that is www.yuktmind.com. Thank you.